For a time, the world enjoyed a sort of peace between countries. Hostilities were low and trade relations were good. Some say we may have been nearing a golden era, even. That was until the 21st century struck. In 2001, one of the greatest attacks on American soil took place. It was in New York. The targets were the World Trade Centers. Nobody could have predicted such an audacious attack, but that does not change history. In this attack on the trade centers, 2 planes were hijacked and crashed into each of the towers. The buildings suffered massive damage and collapsed shortly after the attack. Over 3,000 people were killed in this stunning event, and it created a massive impression on both the people of America and the world. This event sparked a worldwide awakening to the threat of organized violence orchestrated by small groups or cells. These groups were addressed by President George Bush shortly after the attack. He labeled them as terrorists.
We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them. I appreciate so very much the members of Congress who have joined me in strongly condemning these attacks. And on behalf of the American people, I thank the many world leaders who have called to offer their condolences and assistance. America and our friends and allies join with all those who want peace and security in the world. And we stand together to win the war against terrorism.
And so began a war against terror. People flooded to join the fight, and national pride in America began to soar. Even uttering the word terrorist sparks feelings in anyone who lived through this event. However, people failed to notice the ever-changing meaning of the word. The word terrorist evolved into the modern villain. This new meaning of the word changes everything. The US government began labeling many different political and social groups as terrorists or potential terrorists. Some examples are Occupy Wall Street, the Conservative Tea Party, WikiLeaks, and Anonymous. Anonymous themselves brought these subjects to light. They generally report and oppose all unfair legislation attempting to be passed under the radar. They found a bill called the NDAA, and this is their report on it.
Dear brothers and sisters, now is the time to open your eyes. In a stunning move that has civil libertarians stuttering with disbelief, the U.S. Senate has just passed a bill that effectively ends the Bill of Rights in America. The National Defense Authorization Act is being called the most traitorous act ever witnessed in the Senate, and the language of the bill is cleverly designed to make you think it doesn't apply to Americans, but toward the end of the bill, it essentially says it can apply to Americans if we want it to. Bill Summary and Status. 112th Congress, 2011 to 2012, S. 1867. Latest title, National Defense Authorization Act 4. This bill, passed late last night in a 93-7 vote, declares the entire USA to be a battleground upon which U.S. military forces can operate with impunity, overriding posse comitatus and granting the military the unchecked power to arrest, detain, interrogate and even assassinate U.S. citizens with impunity. Passage of this law is nothing less than an outright declaration of war against the American people by the military-connected power elite. And if you would seek as I see, then I ask you to stand beside one another, 1 year from November 5, 2011, outside the gates of every courthouse of every city demanding our rights. Together we stand against the injustice of our own government. We are anonymous. We are legion. United as one. Divided by zero. We do not forgive censorship. We do not forget oppression. U.S. Senate. Expect us.
Fortunately, the bill did not pass. people saw that Anonymous was right and that the bill violated many of the rights of Americans. They are still being watched as terrorists to this day, however. As a word and as an idea, I hope that you have a better understanding of terrorism and how its meaning has melted away to allow it to be used as a generic term to be thrust upon any person whom the US government or military does not like. Stay informed and verify what you have heard. Don't allow yourself to fall victim to the laws that might snare the ignorant. Sincerely, Anonymous.